how high inflation is challenging local small businesses.
That price can change every week or in every few days, and we can't just be changing the prices on our menu all the time, because that would obviously cause some frustration with customers and just inconsistency.
Plus, an area fire department launches an investigation into one of its own.
And where do you get your news? Hear about a new program aimed at helping people find more credible news information. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Logan Barandis.
And I'm Marissa Yakinchik. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, a State College volunteer fire department says it's launched an investigation into one of its members. Alpha Fire Company says a public reported behavior from one of its members that's, quote, inconsistent with our values and policies. Officials removed the person from service pending the outcome of an investigation. The fire company has not released details of the incident and says it won't make any other comments or take any other action until the probe is finished.
A driver accused of causing a crash that shut down a busy State College road is due back in court next week. Police say 28-year-old Letra Renninger intentionally drove into 3 other vehicles on Atherton Street on Tuesday. Police say the driver continued until slamming into a truck in a parking lot. Renninger faces criminal charges including aggravated assault. A preliminary hearing is set for next Wednesday.
One of the nation's popular coffee chains is expected to change up its State College locations. Starbucks plans to move into the bottom floor of the Pew Center at Beaver Avenue and Pew Street. The building has coming soon signs on its windows. The business will reportedly shut down its coffee shops on Garner Street, but it's unclear when the move will take place. In other business news, inflation is affecting many small businesses across the state. Simone Skinner talked with one owner in State College about the challenges.
One's up here as well.
Ethan Steiger owns Vibe Coffee in State College. He knows firsthand what inflation is doing to customers and his small shop. It's even changing how he orders supplies.
With our syrups, other things that have gone up in prices, instead of buying a ton of things at once and kind of stacking up our inventory, just like keeping that tighter to have a little bit more flexibility on finances.
Steiger says the cost of supplies and inventory for making his products, like milk for example, have increased, and the prices can vary.
That price can change every week or in every few days, and we can't just be changing the prices on our menu all the time, because that would obviously cause some frustration with customers and just inconsistency.
Many small business owners have been forced to raise their prices and pass on part of the added cost to customers. But others, like Vibe Coffee, are trying hard to make price hikes a last resort. According to a survey conducted by Cabbage, 37% of businesses would consider raising their prices, while 22% have said they would negotiate lower costs with suppliers.
Even through inflationary pressure, Ethan has told me that he has decided not to increase the price of his products, such as coffee, regardless of the increase in cost of goods sold.
Although it's a specialty coffee and something that we think deserves a little bit higher price than some of your typical just grab-and-go coffee shops, we don't want to put the customers in a position where they can't afford our drinks.
Inflation affects consumers just as much as small businesses. With inflation still running at close to 8%, Ethan hopes there's some improvement on the horizon.
I would hope that people just become less fearful, and whether that's something that the government and the economy can provide for them.
The next inflation update is scheduled for release next Tuesday. In State College, I'm Simone Skinner for the Center County Report.
And it's not just inflation hitting consumers hard. Buying a home is tough too. 30-year fixed mortgage rates are averaging more than 6.6%.
Staying on the money topic, a hearing on the proposed casino at the Nittany Mall is set for next week. The State Gaming Control Board will hear arguments on a petition to intervene in the developer's license application. Another casino operator claims the winning bid for the State College Casino was improperly awarded. The owner denies the allegations. The hearing is scheduled for next Wednesday in Harrisburg.
New statewide test results show a disturbing trend for students coming out of the pandemic. Julie Dostremski reports.
The verdict is in. Remote learning is as bad as you thought. The latest Pennsylvania standardized testing, the PSSA, shows many children have fallen further behind in some grade levels. Shockingly, some of the steepest drops since the pandemic happened in better resourced suburban schools. School district test results across Center County show students are historically underperforming in English language arts, math, and science. Education experts like Dr. Amy Crossan at Penn State believe the results prove Pennsylvania's public education system has a lot of room for improvement.
When you ask that question about is remote learning beneficial, detrimental, I think that the moment in which I was collecting those data, boy, that was a really hard transition time. It's just so sudden, and all of us were unprepared for that.
Other pandemic-related policies like missing school days because of isolation and quarantine also contributed to the record low results on top of remote learning.
They were having difficulty administering some of the assessments that they find are most useful for helping track students' progress in their reading development. And when they had difficulty administering those assessments, then they didn't have the information that they needed to shape instruction.
Crossan's study found students in kindergarten through second grade studying English and another language saw significant loss of language-rich instruction during remote learning.
For teachers who addressed comprehension strategies on a regular basis, they described a 38% reduction from pre-COVID to during COVID. And for book discussions, there was a 36% reduction. And for extended writing, there was a 54% reduction.
It all translates into an uphill battle for educators and families. In State College, I'm Julie Jastrzemski for the Center County Report.
To learn more about the statewide exam results, visit education.gov.pa.
A judge has ruled the State College School District violated federal Title IX laws by not making accommodations for middle school girls who wanted to play club ice hockey. The girls' parents claimed in a lawsuit the district excluded female athletes. They asked for a second hockey team to be formed, but was told there wasn't enough available arena ice time. A federal judge's order requires the girls to be allowed on a team, even if that means adding another team. The school district's response says, quote, "We are in the process of reviewing the court's decision, and the district will evaluate all of its options going forward. We have always strived to comply with Title IX requirements."
Helping students to find trusted sources of news is the goal of a new project at Penn State. Serena DeVanzo has more details.
Getting our news has changed immensely over the past 100 years, especially in the past 2 decades. We went from getting our news in the daily newspaper all the way to having it instantly in our fingertips on a digital device.
Penn State researchers have also found a disturbing trend. Through surveys of almost 1,000 students, they found many are avoiding the news because much of it is depressing and they rarely dig into topics or spend time finding accurate and trusted sources. It's also where people get the news and information that's changed. The Pew Research Center found 82% of U.S. adults say they often get their news on a smartphone. 23% of them prefer websites and apps, 13% social media, 12% prefer searching for it, and 4% look to podcast. With so many apps, blogs, personalities, and other clutter, misinformation is on the rise and is a serious issue.
We are living in a world now where the line between public interest journalism and other types of media content has blurred. We are seeing the rampant circulation of misinformation and disinformation.
Matthew Jordan leads Penn State's News Literacy Initiative, a 2-year pilot project.
So we thought that it would be a very good thing for us to focus on that aspect of being able to tell the difference between quality, high nutrition density, public interest journalism, and all the rest of the content that often parades as such.
The goal? to help people find credible news sources and educate them on the importance of following the news. The project will use campus events, teacher webinars, online certificate programs, a student ambassador program, and a podcast called News Over Noise to reach students. Jordan says helping people find solution-based journalism will help them stay engaged with the news.
So the more we can get people to look for that type of content that is not divisive, that is not emotionally kind of hypervalent, and that is getting people to look for solutions to the problems that we can all solve together as a democracy, that's kind of where the direction of our initiative is flowing.
Jordan and others hope the program will help people cut through an increasingly crowded media world and lead them to trusted sources of news. In University Park, I'm Serena DeVanzo for the Center County Report.
Episode 3 of their podcast, News Over Noise, is out now on the website newsliteracy.psu.edu.
It was a very chilly morning today, but will the colder weather continue? We checked the weekend forecast.
Plus, big trouble for military recruiting. Also coming up, the heartwarming story of the Pennsylvania doctor who solved a medical mystery and saved a young boy's life.
Fall college graduation season is here, and so is post-graduation planning for students. Some may think about the military. But the armed forces are seeing their lowest number of recruits in 50 years. Factors include competition with private industry in the current labor market, medical disqualifications, fitness standards, and an increase in sexual assault reports. Some in Congress are asking if the military should become more lenient or maintain current recruiting standards. After a Fort Hood soldier, Vanessa Guillen, was assaulted and murdered 2 years ago, the Army faced intense criticism. It's implemented new investigation methods, protections, and prevention programs for victims.
A young Minnesota boy faced a potentially deadly diagnosis, but a Penn State doctor helped save his life. Michael DeBaton has the story.
In August of 2021, Stephanie Kenning heard words that no mother ever wants to hear.
When we walked into the hospital here, we were told he'd probably never walk out of the hospital alive.
Her son Colton was 11 years old at the time, born with a disease that affects 1 in 500 to 1,000 newborns, causing fluid buildup in the brain called hydrocephalus.
There's some, procedures that you can do to cure hydrocephalus, but that's not perfect for everybody. But the majority of patients get treated with that device.
Dr. Rizik is a neurosurgeon at Hershey Medical Center, and a shunt, the device he is referring to, drains the cranial liquid, but Colton was having reactions to it.
It was here inside the Hershey Medical Center where Dr. Rizik and his team realized something nobody else had.
What we were able to do working with the company is to use their cured silicone material that sheds a little bit less the silicone microparticles, and also with medications we decrease the ability of the body to reject those devices.
Colton is much healthier now and has been out of the hospital for nearly a year. He is a man of few words, but thankful for his doctors.
Thanks for helping me.
The Kenning family decided to do something to show their gratitude.
When we left the hospital in February, we knew we wanted to do something more than just go to our next appointment and say thank you.
With the help of their communities in Minnesota and Pennsylvania, they were able to raise over $20,000 towards research for hydrocephalus. In Hershey, I'm Michael DeBaton for the Center County Report.
A happy ending for sure. Now here's Dana with the weather.
Plenty of sunshine over Beaver Stadium this morning, and you're going to want to enjoy it because changes are on the way. Just a couple of cumulus clouds over Mount Nittany. Temperatures currently in the middle 30s here, and as we go throughout the day today, they'll probably get up to around the middle 40s. Same goes for much of the state, a little bit warmer down in southeastern Pennsylvania at this time, but if we expand throughout the entire country, not a great day to be in Bismarck because it is currently 3 degrees there, and we'll see some changes coming up, but it isn't going to be quite so cold as we get here. Now, for the radar and satellite, we do have some clouds across the northern tier of the state, but especially south of the I-80 corridor, plenty of sunshine, but changes are afoot. There's a low pressure system bringing some rain and snow to the Chicago area, and this system is going to move its way over towards us in Pennsylvania as we go through this weekend. And if we time it out on our future cast, we could see a couple of showers move through the Pittsburgh area as we go through the day Friday, but most people are going to remain dry. It's Saturday, late in the day, and into Sunday where we really begin to see the changes. Now, whether we see rain, snow, or a rain-snow mix really comes down to the temperature. But as of right now, as we go through central Pennsylvania, I'm going to say that it's going to be a rain and snow mix. And we'll be seeing that mainly throughout the day Saturday and into Sunday as well. And then as we go into Monday, we could have a couple of snow showers remaining, but most people are going to remain dry. But before we can get to that, for today, a high of 43 degrees with plenty of sunshine, so enjoy it while you can. It is the last day of classes here at Penn State. And then for tonight, remaining mostly clear as well with a low of 24 degrees. And for the day tomorrow, we rebound to 41 degrees as well. Throughout the day, we'll be seeing some more sunshine, but as evening comes, we'll have some clouds increasing and a possible snow shower. 7-day forecast has our trends for the next couple of days, and we're going to be in a rather active weather pattern as we have our first low pressure system coming through for the weekend. Then high pressure settles in for Monday and Tuesday where we'll see some more clearing, and then yet another low pressure system moves through for Wednesday and Thursday. However, we're going to see mostly rain for that system. But take a look at those temperatures. You don't often see a stretch of 7 days where the high temperatures are that consistent. But at least in terms of this weekend, maybe those rain snow showers will keep us inside to do some studying for finals.
For sure. And it's absolutely a great day to not be in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Yeah, it's definitely getting colder, but luckily it's not a problem for Penn State basketball playing indoors, and luckily Madison has more in sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up, Penn State men's basketball hits the road and looks to rebound after a rough Big Ten loss. Also ahead, the Lady Lions went up against the nation's number 4 ranked team last night at the BJC. See what happened next. I'm Madison Miller with sports. Penn State's basketball teams have had a rough week. Last night, the Lady Lions lost to number 4 Indiana 67-58. Penn State went on a 10-4 run across for 4 minutes, maintaining a lead midway through the second quarter. But in the second half, Indiana seized the lead for good, outscoring Penn State 22-9. The Lady Lions are back in action Sunday against West Virginia at the Bryce Jordan Center. And Penn State men's basketball is on the road to face Illinois tomorrow, trying to shake off a tough loss. The Lions fell short against Michigan State in their Big Ten opener Wednesday night at home. Leading scorer Seth Lundy had 16 points, along with Jalen Pickett and Cameron Winter also were reaching double digits. But it wasn't enough as the Spartans took control in the second half. Penn State plays the Fighting Illini next. To football now, the Nittany Lions are starting preparations for the Rose Bowl on January 2nd. On the high school level, State College High's perfect football season ended with a heartbreaking loss last weekend, but fans will ultimately look back on the season with a smile. Joseph Callahan has this wrap-up.
It's not easy to make a fall run into the state playoffs, but State High has seemed to be a constant face. Just a short drive from where the Nittany Lions pounce on their prey, the Little Lions have matched the energy. After last year's deep playoff run, head coach Matt Lintel had the team set for stardom, wanted to match the team's success. How did he respond? With an undefeated regular season. They capped it off with their 11th district championship. Since taking over as head coach in 2014, Lintel has led State High to 8 district titles in 9 years, even after the move from District 4 to District 6 in 2016.
It's just excitement. I think it's kind of a deep breath to have this game under your belt and be able to kind of move forward. The District 6 champions again, and I'm just proud of these guys for the effort, the heart, and it's paying off. We've been able to kind of check some boxes off along the way. Undefeated season, Mid-Penn champions, now District 6 champions.
They roared into the state playoffs, taking down McDowell in a triple overtime victory at home. The game did more than just motivate the team.
I mean, it felt crazy. It doesn't even feel like it really happened. It just went by so fast. But our coaches and all my teammates helped us prepare throughout the week and throughout the season, off season, that made us play for this. And we were like conditioned well. We knew what we were doing, and that's what made us win at the end.
State champions. We're going to the state champ. Let's go.
That spark would roll into the next weeks. capturing a state semifinals berth for the first time under Lintel.
Even at 13-0, the Little Lions season can still be described as a spiral, but unfortunately, all good things must eventually come to an end.
The kryptonite of the Little Lions seems to be Mansion Park in Altoona, as the Little Lions fell to Harrisburg 27-7, in the same destination they fell in the playoffs last year.
I love these kids. They feel like my sons. They give so much to each other and so much to our program. They're so much fun to be around every day. The hardest part is not losing a football game. The hardest part is knowing that I don't get to coach those seniors anymore.
Even though State High loses key pieces, quarterback Finn Fremenek and receiver Dante Nastasi for an example, the future is still bright. Their legacy will live on in the lessons and teachings of Lintel. On the field, its biggest retention is phenom running back Deontay Sheffy. The Bell Cow back rushed 208 times for 1,680 yards and 24 total touchdowns. The best part? He's merely a freshman. With back-to-back District 6 championships and 2 deep state playoff runs in a row, it seems that State High will remain in good hands. Reporting for After the Whistle, I'm Joe Callahan Jr.
Penn State men's hockey is on the road tonight and tomorrow for a series at Notre Dame. The Nittany Lions are coming off of a series split against Ohio State. Last Saturday's game also included the annual Teddy Bear Toss. Penn State is now up to number 5 nationally in the USCHO rankings, its highest spot since 2018. Notre Dame comes in at number 19 in the same poll. Penn State volleyball ended its NCAA tournament run last night in Wisconsin. The Nittany Lions finished the season with 26 wins and 8 losses and made it to the regional tournament round. They battled back from a 2-0 deficit last night but lost to the Badgers in 5 sets. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Madison. Coming up next, one of the most popular holiday traditions in central Pennsylvania begins this afternoon. We'll have some of the highlights.
A popular holiday tradition returns to our area this weekend. Bellefonte Victorian Christmas celebrates its 41st year. The events kick off with opening ceremonies tonight at 7. Some of the highlights include the Festival of Trees from 4 to 7 today, a Santa breakfast tomorrow from 8:30 to 11 a.m. at Faith United Methodist Church, and a winter market Sunday from 11 to 4 at Talleyrand Park. There are also horse-drawn carriage rides, food, music, and caroling. Well, it's quite the way to open up the holiday season.
Oh my gosh, you can't beat that. Horse-drawn carriage ride. I'm in. That's all for today's newscast. This is also our final newscast of the semester, but we'll be back next month with a new team.
But you can still follow us anytime for breaking news and watch our stories on our Center County Report social media. You'll find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a great holiday season.